The galaxy had long forgotten humanity. Stars had burned for centuries while humans slept, locked away in secret arcs scattered across uncharted sectors. Legends told of the race that had once touched countless worlds. But those stories had faded into myths. Alien civilizations had grown in their absence, creating empires, alliances, and rivalries. No one truly expected humans to return. Deep in the dark sector of Zorath Prime, a hidden arc drifted silently among the shattered remains of an ancient asteroid field. Its hull, though weathered, reflected the pale light of a distant star. Within its chambers, thousands of humans lay in cryo-sleep, their minds suspended, their bodies preserved for a time far into the future. Captain Alara Dane awoke first. The soft hum of the life support systems and the faint red glow of control panels greeted her as her eyes opened. She stretched, feeling the stiffness of decades in stasis. Around her, other crew members began to stir, their movements sluggish at first but gaining energy with each passing moment. The Ark's AI, an advanced system known as Athena, spoke in a calm, steady voice. "Captain Dane, all systems operational. You have awakened at the optimal time. External conditions are stable. Humanity may return." Ilara's heart beat fast. She had trained for this moment for her entire life, though technically she had been asleep for centuries. She rose from her pod, walking along the quiet corridors where rows of stasis chambers held the rest of humanity. "Prepare the crew for activation," she ordered. "We don't know what awaits us, but we cannot hesitate. Humanity must return." Within hours, the Ark's corridors buzzed with energy. Humans emerged from stasis, blinking against the artificial lights, stretching limbs that had long been still. There was no fear in their eyes, only focus. They were a race accustomed to challenges, to survival against impossible odds. The first test came sooner than expected. Sensors detected an alien scout ship approaching the Ark. The vessel was sleek, triangular, and unlike anything humans had built before. Its alien markings glowed faintly as it moved, scanning the asteroid field. Ilara studied the readings. Athena prepared defensive protocols, but no aggression unless necessary. Let them think we are unprepared. The humans worked with a calm precision. They activated the Ark's stealth systems, adjusting energy emissions and rerouted power to engines. When the alien vessel moved closer, it passed within a few kilometers without detecting them. The humans held their breath. Then unexpectedly the alien ship turned. Its sensors must have caught a faint energy spike. It fired a warning pulse toward the Ark. Alarms blared, red lights flashing in the control room. "Evasive maneuvers!" Ilara shouted. The Ark's engines roared as it accelerated, twisting through the asteroid field with a grace that belied its massive size. Debris whizzed past, but humans had trained for such maneuvers. Their experience with simulation and real space piloting made them unpredictable opponents. The alien ship struggled to match their movements. Its weapons discharged, but the Ark's shields absorbed the pulses with minimal strain. Ilara smiled. Humanity had not forgotten how to fight, they had only been asleep. Minutes later, the alien vessel retreated, scanning behind as if trying to understand what had just occurred. The humans celebrated quietly, not with noise but with a shared sense of pride and relief. They were back and the galaxy would notice. Ilara turned to her crew. "This is just the beginning. Out there, the galaxy has changed. Empires have risen, species have evolved, but they will learn that humans are not to be underestimated." Athena's voice filled the room. Sensors detect multiple star systems nearby, each with planets capable of supporting life. Strategic opportunities are available for exploration and resource acquisition. "Then we begin," Ilara said. "We reclaim what is ours, not by force alone, but with ingenuity, courage, and unity. Humanity returns, and the galaxy will remember." The Ark's engines ignited, sending it gliding out of the asteroid field and into uncharted space. Stars stretched into streaks as they accelerated, and humans began scanning for habitable worlds. Every planet, every asteroid, every system held possibility. Their first stop was a planet named Kythera Prime, a world abandoned centuries ago when humans first vanished. Its cities were now in ruins, overgrown by native flora, yet the infrastructure remained. Humans landed carefully, sending reconnaissance teams to assess the environment. On the surface, the team moved quickly. Drones hovered above, scanning for hazards. Crumbling buildings revealed the ingenuity of ancient human architecture, proof that humans had once thrived here. The team collected resources, repaired equipment, and mapped the terrain. "Everything here is salvageable," said Lieutenant Kieran Voss, a tactical officer who had awoken shortly after Ilara. "We can make this our first forward base. The location is ideal for monitoring nearby sectors." Ilara nodded. "Good. Humanity thrives not just by fighting, but by building, by adapting, by leaving a mark on every world we touch." That night, as humans gathered around portable generators, they looked up at the alien sky. The constellations were familiar yet different. Stars that had shifted over centuries, planets that had changed orbit. They felt both nostalgia and determination. Athena displayed reports from the surrounding systems. Multiple alien civilizations operate within a radius of 5 light-years. Some are minor traders. Others are part of larger coalitions. Intelligence indicates varying levels of technology and military capability. Ilara studied the holographic maps. "We are not here to conquer blindly. We are here to show that humans adapt, survive, and excel where others fail. We will learn, observe, and act with precision." In the following days, humans explored GalacticPrime, repairing old communication arrays, setting up energy grids, and reviving laboratories. Their unique combination of creativity, intuition, and technical skill allowed them to accomplish what the aliens in the sector could not. Every structure they touched became functional again, every piece of old technology enhanced with new ideas. One morning, while scanning the upper atmosphere for threats, a signal reached their sensors. An alien ship, larger than the scout from before, had detected their presence. Its design was imposing, and the crew of the Ark felt the weight of history pressing down. Ilara gathered her officers. "This is our first real test. They know we are here, and curiosity may lead to conflict, but we will not panic. Remember, humans survive through creativity and courage. We will meet them on our terms." When the alien ship arrived at attempted communication, its message was brief, demanding the humans leave the system immediately. Ilara considered their options. Retreat was possible, but humanity had awakened for a purpose. They would not vanish quietly again. "We respond," she said. "Prepare a message. Friendly but firm. Let them understand that humanity has returned, and we will not be ignored." The reply was sent, and moments later, the alien ship paused. Its sensors were scanning, analyzing, trying to predict human intentions. It became clear that humans were not easily understood. Every alien fleet that had grown arrogant in the absence of humanity found them unpredictable and clever. Ilara watched from the Ark's observation deck as the alien vessel moved away slowly, unsure of how to proceed. "They are cautious," she said. "The galaxy may have forgotten us, but it will not forget for long." That night, humans celebrated quietly. It was not a celebration of victory, but of existence. They had awakened, adapted, and survived the first test. Humanity was back in the galaxy. Ilara stood among her crew, looking out at the stars. "We are small, but we are determined. The galaxy may doubt us, fear us, or challenge us, but they will learn that humans do not yield. Our strength is not only in our arms, but in our minds, our courage, and our unity. Humanity returns, and the universe will never be the same again." As the Ark accelerated toward new sectors, the crew felt the thrill of discovery. Alien worlds awaited, each filled with challenges, mysteries, and opportunities. They were pioneers once more, not merely survivors, but the spark that could ignite a new era. The galaxy, long accustomed to the absence of humans, had yet to realize that legends were awakening, that stories were becoming reality. Humanity had returned, not as myths or memories, but as living, breathing, capable beings ready to leave a mark. And so among the stars, humanity took its first steps back into the galaxy, bold, clever, and unstoppable. Word count: 305. If you want, I can immediately continue with part 2, keeping the same engaging third-person style, full of tension, action, and discovery. Also, some 300 words. Do you want me to continue part 2 next? You said ChatGPT said absolutely. Here's part 2 of Humanity Returns and the Galaxy Can't Stop Them. In 300 words, third-person, simple English, fully safe and engaging. Part 2. Rising Conflicts. The Ark glided silently through the star systems beyond GalacticPrime, its engines leaving faint trails of light that shimmered against the void. Captain Ilara Dane and her crew were busy scanning nearby systems, searching for planets that could support life and resources to sustain humanity's return. They were careful, but they were also explorers at heart. Every planet, every asteroid, every moon held opportunity. Lieutenant Kieran Voss leaned over a holographic display. "Captain." The galaxy was shifting. Word of humanity's return had spread like a comet's tail, fear in some sectors, hope in others. Captain Alara Dane understood that humans alone could not face the galaxy's combined powers forever. Strength lay in unity and collaboration. Humanity needed allies, even if those allies came from the most unlikely of places. Alara convened her officers in the Orcs command chamber. Holographic star maps displayed territories controlled by larger alien empires. Smaller, weaker civilizations, often oppressed or ignored, scattered across the borders. These were the species most likely to welcome humanity's guidance. Lieutenant Kieran Voss leaned forward. "Captain, these species have suffered under the Coalition's rule. They lack strong defenses, but they have local knowledge, technology in pockets, and fleets that can be mobilized quickly if properly trained." Ilara's eyes gleamed. "Then we show them that humans are more than warriors. We are leaders, innovators, and teachers. It is time for humanity to not just fight, but to inspire." The Ark's fleet moved toward Voral Sector, a collection of systems home to the small, scattered species. Humans approached cautiously, sending signals of peace and cooperation. While wary, the alien species were intrigued. They had heard stories of humans, of clever tactics, of survival against impossible odds, of courage that inspired even the most timid. The first contact was with the Trellari, a reptilian species known for their swift ships but limited strategy in complex battles. They had been subjugated by larger neighbors and had little hope of changing their fate. The human delegation landed on their capital planet, offering assistance. Alara addressed Trellari leaders with calm authority. "We are not here to dominate. We are here to share knowledge. Together we can protect your people, improve your defenses, and ensure that the galaxy respects your sovereignty." The Trellari were cautious. Trust had been broken too often. But humans were persistent and patient. They shared technical knowledge, teaching the Trellari to enhance their ships, organize coordinated fleets, and think strategically rather than reactively. By the end of the first week, Trellari ships were flying with new precision, executing maneuvers they had never imagined. Next came the Orin, a peaceful species of amphibious beings whose world had been rich in resources but stripped bare by raiding factions. Humans helped them rebuild infrastructure, establish energy grids, and improve agricultural production. In return, the Orin shared vital information about neighboring sectors and hidden supply routes. Athena, the Ark's AI, monitored the progress. Human alliances are increasing operational efficiency in multiple species. Their knowledge transfer is enhancing survival probability across the sector. Ilara nodded. "Knowledge is power, Athena, and sharing it builds trust, loyalty, and a network of allies that cannot be easily broken." While humans trained their new allies, scouts continued observing the alien coalition. Patterns emerged. The coalition relied on brute strength and rigid strategy. They expected submission or predictable resistance. What they did not expect was humans teaching other species to adapt, think creatively, and fight intelligently. Soon a joint operation was planned. Coalition supply lines had become a problem for many smaller species. Humans proposed a mission: a coordinated strike against a supply convoy in Zareth Belt, a dense field of asteroids and derelict stations. It would test the combined fleet's capability. Ilara addressed her fleet before the mission. "This is more than a battle. This is a demonstration that humans do not fight alone. We fight with allies. Together we are unpredictable, and together we will succeed." The operation began under cover of darkness, the asteroid belt providing natural concealment. Human scouts led the way, mapping the safest paths and setting decoys. Trellari and Orin ships followed, integrating new strategies they had learned. The coalition convoy entered the belt unaware of the ambush. Humans struck first, using small, agile ships to disable communication relays, while drones created false signals of larger fleets. Trellari and Orin ships flanked the convoy, cutting off escape routes. Humans adapted in real time, modifying their tactics as the situation changed. The battle was swift but decisive. Coalition ships were forced to retreat, leaving cargo pods and resources behind. The Allied fleet celebrated in quiet coordination, their confidence growing with each successful maneuver. Humans had not only won a battle, they had shown that collaboration amplified their strength beyond what any species could achieve alone. Back on the Ark, Ilara addressed the leaders of allied species. You have done well. You see now what is possible when ingenuity, courage, and unity come together. The galaxy is watching, and it will notice that small fleets united and clever can outmatch larger forces. The alliance grew steadily. Small species once overlooked became partners in exploration, defense, and intelligence gathering. Humans taught them not only to fight but to innovate, finding new ways to repair ships, manage resources, and communicate across vast distances. Even diplomatic relations improved, as humans mediated disputes and encouraged cooperation rather than conflict. Athena reported another development. Multiple alien civilizations outside Coalition influence are observing our progress. Some are beginning informal communications, requesting assistance or trade. Humanity's reputation is spreading rapidly. Ilara smiled. Humans have always inspired curiosity and ingenuity. We adapt, we survive, and we elevate others in the process. That is our true strength. Then came a more urgent message. Coalition forces had identified the Allied fleet's coordination. A larger fleet, far more prepared than previous encounters, was moving to engage them. This would be humanity's greatest test yet. An all-out confrontation that could determine whether the fledgling alliances would survive. Ilara gathered her team. This is what we trained for. Our allies have grown under our guidance. Now we fight together, not just as humans but as a united force. Remember, the galaxy does not control us. We control our destiny through ingenuity, courage, and teamwork. The fleets took formation near a dense nebula. Coalition ships advanced with confidence, expecting humans and allies to scatter under pressure. Instead, the united fleet moved in precise coordination. Humans directed operations, anticipating enemy maneuvers and exploiting weaknesses. Smaller species used their unique abilities to surprise the coalition. Trailery ships executed lightning-fast strikes. Orin vessels used advanced shielding, and human ships adapted continuously, improvising in ways the coalition could not predict. Hours passed as the battle unfolded. Coalition commanders were forced to adjust repeatedly, unable to anticipate the fluid strategies employed by the Allied fleet. Every time they attempted a coordinated strike, humans had already countered with a new maneuver. Finally, the coalition fleet began to retreat. Humanity's leadership had turned a potential disaster into a clear victory. Not only had they preserved the Allied fleets, but they had also demonstrated that intelligence, collaboration, and innovation could overcome overwhelming force. Ilara watched the aftermath from the Ark's observation deck. "See what we have accomplished," she said. "These species, once oppressed and fearful, now fight with confidence. They will remember this moment, and they will remember humans as the ones who showed them their potential." The Allied leaders expressed gratitude and admiration. Trust had been forged in fire, and the bonds would not easily break. Humans had achieved more than military victory. They had created hope, a network of strength, and a model for cooperation that could reshape the galaxy. As the Ark moved through new systems, humans continued to teach, explore, and build. Each planet offered challenges, but the humans' ability to adapt, innovate, and inspire allowed them to turn obstacles into opportunities. Ilara reflected on the growth of the Alliance. The galaxy may have thought it had forgotten us. It may have believed humans were gone forever, but now it sees that we return not alone, but with the ability to unite, elevate, and lead. That is a force no empire can easily resist. Even as the Allied fleets expanded, intelligence reports indicated that the coalition was regrouping. They would not accept human-led alliances without resistance. Another confrontation was inevitable, but humans and their allies were ready. They had learned that victory was not about numbers alone, but about creativity, courage, and the power of collaboration. The stars stretched endlessly before them, each system a test of strategy, skill, and ingenuity. Humanity's return was no longer a secret. It was becoming a symbol, a beacon for those who had suffered under oppression and a warning for those who underestimated them. And so, united with the unlikely, humanity's influence grew. They had become not just survivors, but leaders, teachers, and protectors. The galaxy was changing, and humans were at the center of that change. Their story was no longer about individual survival. It was about uniting others, building strength through cooperation, and proving that ingenuity, courage, and unity were more powerful than any fleet or empire. The Alliance had won its first great test, but Ilara knew the challenges ahead would be greater. Still, with humans leading, guiding, and inspiring, there was no force in the galaxy that could easily halt their return. And humanity, once lost to the stars, was now a rising light, bright, clever, and unstoppable. Word count, Rossi 1-3. The galaxy was changing. The ripples of humanity's return had become waves, touching star systems once overlooked, inspiring hope and unity where despair had reigned. Captain Alara Dane stood on the observation deck of the Ark, looking out at the stars. Each light was a world, a possibility, a challenge, and humanity was ready to meet them all. Following the Great Stand, humans and their allies had strengthened their presence in the Voral sector. Small species that once cowered under larger powers now defended themselves with confidence. They had learned to innovate, to cooperate, and to trust in their own abilities. Humanity had not merely returned, they had elevated others. Lieutenant Kieran Voss approached, holding a data pad filled with recent reports. Captain, intelligence indicates multiple civilizations beyond our current sector are reaching out. Some are seeking alliances. Others are requesting training or technological assistance. The galaxy is taking notice, Alara nodded. Then we will meet them. Humanity does not seek to dominate but to guide, to unite, and to inspire. The galaxy will see that cooperation is stronger than conflict. The Ark and its fleet traveled to Sarath Prime, a neutral planet at the crossroads of several sectors. Here, representatives from various civilizations gathered, wary but curious. Humans demonstrated their approach, teaching strategic thinking, sharing adaptive technology, and showing the value of innovation in overcoming challenges. One of the alien leaders, a tall, elegant being from the Lyran Confederacy, spoke cautiously. We have heard much of humans, of your victories and methods, but how can we trust that your guidance will not lead to control or conquest? Alara smiled. We do not impose, we share. Strength is built in cooperation, not domination. We have returned to show what is possible when courage, ingenuity, and unity are valued. You are not our subjects, you are our partners. The demonstration impressed the assembly. Humans coordinated simulated operations, integrating the unique abilities of each species. Trillari ships performed swift strikes, Orin vessels provided defensive support, and humans adapted strategies in real time. The alien delegates watched closely, recognizing the value of collaboration and creativity. As trust grew, humans helped establish a council of allied systems, a network of species committed to mutual support, protection, and progress. This council would serve as a platform for dialogue, trade, and coordinated defense, a model for how the galaxy could thrive without conflict. While diplomacy flourished, humans remained vigilant. Reports indicated the remnants of the coalition were regrouping, attempting to reclaim lost territories and undermine alliances. But humans had learned from experience, preparation, adaptability, and the integration of allies made even overwhelming forces manageable. When the coalition attempted a surprise strike on a neutral system within the Council, human-led fleets responded with precision. Using strategies perfected over previous conflicts, humans deployed decoys, manipulated asteroid fields, and executed coordinated attacks that disabled key enemy vessels without unnecessary destruction. The coalition retreated once more, unable to match the unpredictable tactics of humans and their allies. Through these actions, humans demonstrated that leadership was not about domination or fear, but about protection, innovation, and guidance. Alien civilizations began to rely on human insight, seeking advice on defense, governance, and technological advancement. Humans became respected advisors, not conquerors, and their influence spread steadily across multiple sectors. Alara observed these developments with quiet satisfaction. Humanity's return was never just about survival, she said. It was about showing the galaxy a better way. Courage, ingenuity, and cooperation are our true power, and that power is stronger than any fleet, weapon, or empire. Beyond the political and military advances, humans continued to explore uncharted systems. Every new world offered discoveries, rare resources, lost knowledge, and strange phenomena that tested human adaptability. Humans thrived in these challenges, inspiring allies to explore and innovate alongside them. On the planet Kythera Prime, now fully restored as a human-forward base, young humans and alien allies trained together. Pilots practiced advanced maneuvers, engineers developed hybrid technologies, and scientists studied phenomena that could benefit multiple civilizations. The collaborative effort symbolized the new era humans were fostering, one where knowledge and creativity transcended species boundaries. Even the arts and culture flourished. Humans and allies shared stories, songs, and inventions, blending traditions to create a vibrant, interconnected community. It was a visible reminder that humanity's return was not only about strategy or survival, it was about enriching the galaxy as a whole. News of humanity's rise spread further, reaching distant sectors. Civilizations that had never interacted with humans were now curious, sending envoys to learn, trade, and collaborate. Some feared human influence, but many were inspired. The galaxy was slowly entering a new age, one shaped by ingenuity, courage, and cooperation rather than conquest and fear. Despite these successes, Alara remained cautious. Intelligence reports indicated that some factions within the old coalition still harbored resentment. While weakened, they were capable of localized attacks. Humans and allies fortified strategic positions and developed rapid response fleets, ensuring that any threat could be addressed before it escalated. One day, an urgent message arrived from the Zerath Belt, where a rogue faction of the coalition attempted to seize a resource-rich planet. Humans acted immediately, coordinating allied fleets in a swift, decisive operation. Using the terrain, deception, and adaptive maneuvers, humans neutralized the threat without unnecessary destruction. The rogue faction retreated, and the planet was secured under Council protection. Alara addressed her fleet afterward. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to demonstrate that leadership through courage, intelligence, and unity works. Humanity is not here to dominate, it is here to elevate. And every victory proves that our approach is the right one. The Council grew stronger as humans expanded their influence. Shared technology, coordinated defense, and cooperative governance led to an era of unprecedented stability in multiple sectors. Species that had once lived in fear of the coalition now contributed to exploration, trade, and diplomacy, building a network of interstellar cooperation guided by human principles. Even the former enemies began to recognize the value of humanity's methods. Some sought peaceful dialogue, acknowledging that continued aggression would only lead to further defeats. Others adapted, forming their own alliances or joining the Council voluntarily. The galaxy was learning that cooperation and innovation could achieve more than fear or force ever could. As months passed, humans continued to push boundaries. The Ark and its fleet ventured into systems untouched by civilization, discovering planets rich with resources, ancient relics, and opportunities for colonization. Humans shared their discoveries with allies, fostering prosperity and stability across the galaxy. Alara stood once more on the observation deck, gazing at the stars. The galaxy has remembered us not as myths, but as a living, breathing force of courage and ingenuity. Humanity has returned to lead not through fear, but through inspiration, protection, and guidance. We are stronger together, and that strength is unstoppable. The crew, human and allied alike, worked tirelessly. Engineers refined ship designs, scientists explored new phenomena, and pilots trained for the challenges ahead. Every action reinforced the lessons humans had taught. Adaptability, intelligence, and unity were more valuable than sheer power. In the heart of the galaxy, humans were no longer just survivors, they were leaders, advisors, and protectors. Their influence extended beyond military victories to diplomacy, technology, and cultural exchange. The galaxy was entering a new era, shaped by the return of humanity and the alliances they had forged. As the Ark glided into unexplored space, humans prepared for the next chapter. Challenges would arise, new civilizations would need guidance, and old threats might resurface. But humanity had proven time and again that courage, creativity, and unity could overcome any obstacle. Alara reflected on the journey. Humanity had awakened from centuries of slumber, faced superior forces, united the unlikely, defended allies, and inspired the galaxy. Their story was no longer about survival. It was about leadership, growth, and hope. And so, among the stars, humanity ascended. Not as conquerors, but as a beacon. A light that illuminated the galaxy, showing that intelligence, bravery, and cooperation could reshape worlds. Civilizations that once feared humans now looked to them for guidance. Empires that once dismissed them now recognized their power. And the galaxy, vast and full of mysteries, had no choice but to acknowledge that humanity had returned. Humanity's legacy was no longer a memory or a legend. It was alive, vibrant, and unstoppable. The return of humans had changed the course of the galaxy forever. And as Captain Alara Dane watched the stars stretch into the distance, she knew one thing for certain. This was only the beginning. The galaxy had been challenged, inspired, and transformed. And humanity, clever, courageous, and united, was at its center, leading the way into a new age of possibility.